Hey there, Stampers. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping. Welcome to my second Teach Me Tuesday video. Today I'm going to be talking about Big Shot basics. So we're going to go through the ins and outs of all the different types of Big Shot tools there are and how to use them. So let's get started. There's a bunch of different things that I wanted to show you. So first off, I'm going to start with my favorite, actually, I'm going to go back a step. Stampin' Up! Introduced a new cutting platform this past June. So anybody who ordered the Big Shot with Stampin' Up! Through Stampin' Up! June 1st, 2016 or after, you would have gotten this new Big Shot platform. So it's the platform base and then the thin die adapter. This is a Stampin' Up! Exclusive product, and it really makes cutting with the Big Shot so much more easy. It really is much easier. The old platform, which still works, and I still have one of those, this was with most Big Shots that you buy on the market or with Stampin' Up! Prior to June 1st, and it's got the different tabs. So I'll kind of show you how to use this one as well as the new one, just because many of you may still have this one here. Basically, these are interchangeable, but this one here actually gives you better, more uniform cutting because it's designed to have slightly higher center. So I don't know if you've noticed sometimes when you roll your Big Shot through your projects through your Big Shot on the old platform, sometimes the center pieces don't cut as well, or you don't get even cutting, and that's because there's different the layering on top here is different across the platform. So this has a raised center, so it kind of equalizes all of that. So this makes it much easier to cut through. But this one will work still as well, and we'll show you how to build the sandwiches with that as well. But I wanted to show you this piece first. So as I said, you would get this with any new Big Shot purchase that you do from now moving forward. This is October of 2016. So that started in June, but you can order this individually as well. It's, like I said, exclusive to Stampin' Up! It's item number 142802, and it's $26 and well worth it if you ask me. Again, like the old one, it has your instructions and how to build everything right on the platform. And what I also like about this one is it doesn't have all the extra items on it that we don't carry. So like the wafer thin dies that are listed here, it's just a little more confusing because we don't carry those. So it might confuse you as if a frame lid or a thin lid is considered that or something else. So this makes it really easy. On the front, you've got your thinlits, your wafer thin dies is on the front here. And then underneath here is your embossing folders. And so it's pretty simple and straightforward to use. So with that said, I'm going to first show you how to put together, let me move this down a little bit, and I'll tell you how to put together the sandwich, because each time you use this, you're going to build a Big Shot sandwich, and it depends on which product you're using as to which sandwich you build. So if we're going to start with one of my favorite things, it's a very economical way to add some layering and texture to your cards. So this one here is the embossing folders, and we have them in two different sizes, really just so that you can use them. Like this would be great for scrapbooking as well because it gives you a bigger canvas, whereas this is designed more solely for a card front, but you can of course run them through twice and get bigger images too. So either way, you're going to run it the same way. So we don't need the thin wafer die on this one. We're just going to need the Big Shot platform. And then you're going to need always, these are not cutting surfaces, so you always need your cutting mats. And you get two of these. Ow, my magnetic platform just suctioned my finger underneath the metal precision plate, but we'll talk about that in a second. Two cutting plates come with your Big Shot anyway, so, and you can always replace these. These are pretty inexpensive, and they do get well loved, as you can see. So for embossing folders, you're going to start with your Big Shot platform, a cutting mat, then you're going to put your paper inside your cutting mat, put that on top, making sure it's within the parameters of your Big Shot. If it's askew and it's over a little bit on the side here, you will bend and warp your platform. So make sure you have it, doesn't make it not work, but you still want to kind of protect your stuff. Sometimes it will get warped on one corner and then it doesn't emboss in that one little corner. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll this through after we put the cutting mat on top. So it was Big Shot Platform, cutting mat, and then the embossing folder and another cutting mat. And then when you open that, you get your lovely embossed image. Can you see that? Yay! This looks like kind of waves. This is one of my favorites. It's part of the By the Shore suite. But embossing folders are one of my favorite anyway, just because they add a whole lot of pop to a card without a lot. They're not very expensive, so they're a nice little addition if you have the Big Shot. Now, just because I want to make sure I'm keeping up with the regular platform. So if you still have this one, you can still use these embossing folders. You'll just look for the Textured Impressions folder, which is right here. So you would open up your Big Shot Platform. You're going to leave it open, so this will stay out. And then you're going to put a cutting mat. You'd put your cardstock and your paper in here. And then your second cutting mat, and you would roll that through, and then you get your embossed piece for that. All right, so that's the embossing folders. Super easy, not very complicated, just the basics. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the different types of thinlits and framelits we have. So when I'm talking about thinlits and framelits, they are different. There's difference between the two things. So this is a thinlit. This is a very detailed thinlit. So you can see what that is. A framelit is kind of what it sounds like. It's actually something that frames an image. So there's no intricacies to it. It's just basically an outline. It's basically a shape. So that's your difference between a thinlit and a shamelit. I don't know. A thinlit and a framelit. So let's talk about the framelits first. So the framelits are, we have circles, we have squares, we have all of that stuff. So those are very useful in crafting. But we also, Stampin' Up! Features a lot of product that coordinates with our thinlits and framelits, specifically our framelits. So we're going to start with the Big Shot Platform. The new one. And now this one, we're going to need the thin die adapter for the framelit. Okay, so you can use this, and I'm going to show you another tool in a second, but you can use this to actually, so I pre-stamped an image, you could line that up and put your framelit over it. And again, the sandwich is right here on top, so you're going to do your Big Shot Platform, your thin die adapter. Whoops, this isn't a cutting surface. So again, on all of them, you're going to want your thin die adapter. Then you would put your paper and your framelit, and then another cutting mat. Now, with the framelits, what I actually recommend, instead of the Big Shot Platform or the original Big Shot Platform, this magnetic platform is fantastic. And the reason why is because you've got a stamped image that you're working with. This one. This guy is magnetic. So once you put it down, it's not going to move. So that's really ideal when you're cutting out something that's already pre-stamped. So you're framing a stamped image. You would go ahead and use the magnetic platform, which is an accessory to the Big Shot. And it is also available through Stampin' Up. You're going to do your magnetic platform, your cutting mat, again, because none of these platforms are your cutting surface. So you don't want to cut directly on them. You want to use a cutting mat. And then we're going to go ahead and frame that image with our framelit. So remember, the framelit frames an image. And then you're going to go ahead and stick the cutting mat on top. And because it's a magnetic platform, when I stick that on top, it's not going to move. So it's going to go ahead and roll right through. Okay, so then you have your cutout piece, just like that. So that's ideal for the framelit, but like I said, you can use it with the regular new platform or the basic platform. I showed you how to do the new platform. The basic one, you would do everything, build right on top of this. So you would not open any of the tabs. You would leave this wide open. I mean, yeah, you'd leave that closed. Sorry. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do the one last thing that I wanted to show you, which is the detailed thinlits. So now there's a page in the catalog, the annual catalog right here. It's page 194 in the catalog. And if you look at the top here, it says that Precision Base Plate 190 is recommended for these detail images. So this is the Precision plate. It's a heavy metal plate, and this actually does count as a cutting surface. And the reason why I want to do this is because it's got a little more bulk to it than the thin die adapter. So it will allow you to get a nice clean cut on those detailed platforms. So you're going to go ahead and push your Big Shot platform down first. Then, you're going to do label side down. That's why you can see I've already cut all over this. So this is going to replace your, actually you need the thin die adapter first, then your Big Shot precision plate. Now that's your cutting surface. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to put your paper down on top of that. And I'm going to cut this pretty little detailed flower. And put that with the cutting side down. So if you look, there's a thin edge around those versus the flat side. So you want the edge with the thin, what is that called? The edge that has the raised edge. Thank you. Oh my goodness. You're going to put that down towards the cardstock on top of the precision plate, and then you're going to use one cutting mat on top of that. And because these are detailed, generally we recommend that you run them twice. So roll it one way, and then without taking it out, just go ahead and roll it back. And that will give you the cutout image. Now if you notice, this is all stuck in there. So one other tool to show you with the Big Shot, and this is our, put it back so you can see it. This is our little foam die brush and pad, and you just literally stick your flower image on top here, and you're going to roll over it with your brush. You don't have to be too heavy because you can like cut the foam, but you're just going to go ahead and roll over, and what it does is there's all sorts of little circle holes in there. See those little holes? So when you roll this over, this little bristle brush is actually going to poke through those holes and pop out your little flower. So then you've got nice and easy peasy, no poking with your pokey tool. You've got that beautiful little flower that you can now use as an embellishment. So another must-have. So of course the Big Shot's a must-have. Embossing Folders are a must-have. And this little guy, if you do any of the delicate dies, it is awesome. It makes popping all of these really intricate little things out so much easier, and look how beautiful that is. A great little adornment for a card or for a scrapbook page or any crafting project you may be working on this season. So hopefully that helped you. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd want me to teach you on Teach Me Tuesday, and I'd be happy to do that. Thanks so much, and you can visit me at bytheshorestamping.com. Thanks. Have a great day.